Hi friends, now that we created our checkered hearts, now it's time to color using warm and cool colors. Remember, our warm colors are red, orange, and yellow, and our cool colors are green, blue, and purple. Now in my crayon boxes, I have a bunch of different shades of blues and yellows and oranges, so it really doesn't matter which one. You can even do two different shades if you wanted to do light blue and dark blue. It's up to you. Here in my example, you can see I used cool colors for inside of my heart. I used blue and green, and for the outside, I used orange and red. Now, when I do this, sometimes what I do is I mark where the colors go before I color in the entire block, just in case I mess up, because sometimes it gets a little confusing the more lines that you have. So if you do want to make it easier on yourself, add less lines too. But we just did 6 on top, 6 on bottom. It's a lot less than this picture here. So for my heart here, I'm going to choose warm colors. I'm going to do red and orange for the heart, and then I'm going to do purple and blue for the background. So I'm going to be doing the opposite of this with my cool colors inside and my warm colors outside. And you get to pick what colors you want to do. So I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to start in one spot here. So I'm just going to color this shape here. See how it kind of creates a separate shape because of the lines going from the top and the bottom and from the lines going from left to right. Now, because that one's going to be red, all of my red spots are going to be diagonal. So this spot's going to be red. Then I'm going to look at which one's diagonal here. This one's going to be red. And we're going to have this one's going to be red. Sometimes these smaller shapes get a little bit confusing, so sometimes I put a dot to kind of block off where these are going to be. And guess what? I make mistakes too, and if that happens, that is okay. And now I'm only going to do the ones inside my heart. I'm not going to do outside, because the outside is going to be different colors. Okay, I'm going to do it here. And then here, sometimes it's easier to see when you've colored the whole shape, so it's going to be here. Alright, I'm going to start coloring, and then I will color more in as I go. Sometimes it's easier. If you wanted to do some shading as you color too, maybe do dark around the outside and then lighter on the inside. Sometimes these little shapes throw me off a little bit. So it's like every other except for when we have them at an angle. It gets a wee bit trickier, I think. And I know you can barely see there is like a small little shape right there, so I am going to color this little space too. So this one's going to be colored in. And again, if you want to make it a little bit more interesting, you can, let's see, I think we're going to go with, I know these all kind of, I'm going to go with this one here, and this one here. You just don't want the same colors next to each other. Sometimes when the shapes get smaller, you can just kind of guess which ones are every other. Alright. Now that I have every other one of my red colored in, then I'm going to go in, and all these other spaces inside of my heart, I'm going to color in with my orange. And I'm just going to block these off just to show you where I'm going to color those in with my orange. And then I do the same thing with my orange coloring in the heart. I'm going to do that real quick so you don't have to watch me, and then I'll come back and we'll do the cool color background.